A dingo is a wolf found in Australia. Its taxonomic classification is debated. It is a medium-sized canine that possesses a lean, hardy body adapted for speed, agility, and stamina. The dingo's three main coat colorations are light ginger or tan, black and tan, or creamy white. The skull is wedge-shaped and appears large in proportion to the body. The earliest known dingo fossil, found in Western Australia, dates to 3,450 years ago, which led to the presumption that dingoes came to Australia with seafarers before that time, possibly from southwest Sulawesi and modern-day Indonesia. Dingo morphology has not changed over the past 3,500 years. This suggests that no artificial selection has been applied over this period. The dingo is closely related to the New Guinea singing dog. Their lineage split early from the lineage that led to today's domestic dogs and can be traced back through the Malay archipelago to Asia. A recent genetic study shows that the lineage of those dingoes found today in the northwestern part of the Australian continent split from the lineage of the New Guinea singing dog and southeastern dingo 6,300 BC, followed by a split between the New Guinea singing dog lineage from the southeastern dingo lineage 5,800 BC. The study proposes that two dingo migrations occurred when sea levels were lower and Australia and New Guinea formed one landmass named Sahel that existed until 6,500–8,000 years ago. The dingo's habitat covers most of Australia, but they are absent in the southeast and Tasmania and an area in the southwest. As Australia's largest extant terrestrial predator, dingoes prey on mammals up to the size of the large red kangaroo, in addition to birds, reptiles, fish, crabs, frogs, insects, and seeds. The dingo's competitors include the native quoll, the introduced European red fox and the feral cat. A dingo pack usually consists of a mated pair, their offspring from the current year, and sometimes offspring from the previous year. The first British colonists who settled at Port Jackson in 1788 recorded dingoes living with indigenous Australians and later at Melville Island in 1818 and the lower Darling and Murray rivers in 1862, indicating that dingoes were under some form of domestication by Aboriginal Australians. When livestock farming began expanding across Australia in the early 19th century, dingoes began preying on sheep and cattle. Numerous population control measures have been implemented since then, with only limited success. The dingo is recognized as a native animal under the laws of all Australian jurisdictions. The dingo plays a prominent role in the Dreamtime stories of Indigenous Australians, however, it rarely appears depicted in their cave paintings when compared with the extinct thylacine, also known as the Tasmanian wolf or Tasmanian tiger. The most widespread theory of the origin of the dingo in Australia is believed to be the one where hunters and gatherers of cultures brought it from Asia. On the mainland, dogs abandoned by their owners have spread for food. The dogs formed flocks, making it easier for them to hunt local game. It is believed that this is what caused the extinction of many lonely marsupial mammals. It is believed that dingoes are a subspecies of the wolf, but some experts distinguish them as an independent species. There is also a version that dingo dogs come from the domesticated Indian wolf, which is common in the Indian subcontinent. In the 1950s, a singing dog that closely resembles a dingo was encountered in New Guinea. Only its size is inferior to Australian dogs. It also vaguely resembles the dingo, discovered by the Carolyn dog in the United States of America. Dingo dog habitat and lifestyle. Dingo is common, not only in Australia, but also found in Southeast Asia. The dog is very active in the dark. The real habitat of this breed is semi-desert and eucalyptus forests. Dingo likes to settle in small cavities in the upper part of the Earth's crust, under a large root system of trees, or to occupy small underground tunnels that other animals have left for whatever reason. Also, dogs like to be located near a reservoir with fresh water. In Asia, the dingo has to be side by side with a person, periodically visiting various garbage dumps in search of food. While dingoes in nature hunt small mammals, reptiles are not even averse to feasting on kangaroos and wallabies. Due to their close proximity to humans, dingoes often raided cattle, so dogs began to be exterminated. Dingoes can live both alone and in packs. The pack has an average of about 12 dogs. Dingoes settle in a certain area and then carefully guarded. Taxonomy. Dog of New South Wales illustrated in the voyage of Governor Phillip to Botany Bay in 1788. Dogs associated with natives were first recorded by Jan Carstensen in the Cape York Peninsula area in 1623. In 1699, Captain William Dampier visited the coast of what is now Western Australia and recorded that, "My men saw 2 or 3 beasts like hungry wolves, lean like so many skeletons, being nothing but skin and bones." In 1788, the first fleet arrived in Botany Bay under the command of Australia's first colonial governor, Arthur Phillip, who took ownership of a dingo and in his journal, made a brief description with an illustration of the dog of New South Wales. In 1793, based on Philip's brief description and illustration, the dog of New South Wales was classified by Friedrich Meyer as Canis dingo. In 1999, a study of mitochondrial DNA indicated that the domestic dog may have originated from multiple gray wolf populations, with the Dingo and New Guinea singing dog breeds having developed at a time when human populations were more isolated from each other. In the third edition of Mammal Species of the World published in 2005, the mammalogist W. Christopher Wozencraft listed under the wolf Canis lupus its wild subspecies and proposed 2 additional subspecies, Familiaris linos, 1758 and Dingo Meyer, 1793. Wozencraft included Halstrummi, the New Guinea singing dog, as a taxonomic synonym for the dingo. Wozencraft referred to the MNA study as one of the guides informing his decision. The inclusion of Familiaris and Dingo under a domestic dog clade has been noted by other mammalogists, and their classification under the wolf debated. In 2019, a workshop hosted by the IUCN-SSC Canid Specialist Group considered the New Guinea singing dog and the dingo to be feral dogs Canis familiaris, and therefore should not be assessed for the IUCN Red List. Domestic status. The dingo is regarded as a feral dog because it descended from domesticated ancestors. The dingo's relationship with indigenous Australians is one of commensalism, in which 2 organisms live in close association but do not depend on each other for survival. They both hunt and sleep together. The dingo is, therefore, comfortable enough around humans to associate with them, but is still capable of living independently. Any free-ranging, unowned dog can be socialized to become an owned dog, as some dingoes do when they join human families. Although the dingo exists in the wild, it associates with humans, but has not been selectively bred similarly to other domesticated animals. Therefore, its status as a domestic animal is not clear. Whether the dingo was a wild or domesticated species was not clarified from Meyer's original description, which translated from the German language ambiguously reads, "It is not known if it is the only dog species in New South Wales and if it can also still be found in the wild state." However, so far it appears to have lost little of its wild condition. Moreover, no divergent varieties have been discovered. Dingo puppies. In a flock where dingoes live, only the dominant pair can produce offspring. When another female hatches puppies, the dominant female kills them. All members of the pack take care of the cubs of the main pair. This Australian dog breeds puppies once a year. The dingo animal is monogamous. In Australian dingoes, the mating season begins in March-April. In Asian dingoes, it falls in August-September. An animal dingo becomes capable of breeding at the age of 1 to 3 years. The gestation period for this Australian dog is 3 months. Typically, an Australian dingo dog gives birth to 6 to 8 dingo puppies. Born dingo dog puppies are blind and covered with hair. Both parents take care of the babies. At the age of 1 month, dingo puppies already leave the den, and soon the female stops feeding with milk. By 2 months, dingo dog puppies finally leave the den and live with adults. Up to 3 months, the mother and the rest of the pack help feed the puppies and bring them prey. By 4 months, dingo puppies are already independent and go hunting together with adults. In the wild, a dingo dog lives up to 10 years, in captivity up to 13 years. In the natural environment, the dingo animal and domestic dogs often interbreed, so hybrids prevail in the wild. The only exceptions are those dingoes that live in protected areas in Australia's national parks. Hybrids formed by crossing Australian dingoes and domestic dogs pose a greater threat as they are more aggressive. In addition, non-purebred dingoes breed 2 times a year, in contrast to purebred dingoes, in which offspring occurs once a year. Purchasing a dingo dog puppy. Dingo, due to its exotic appearance, is very difficult to acquire. Since the animal is wild and naturally not recognized as a breed, there are no nurseries in many countries. The fact is that for the reliability of the provision of appropriate care for the dog, the conclusion of special contracts and the preparation of documents are required. The only option is to purchase a puppy abroad for a very small amount. A puppy can cost a minimum of $600 excluding shipping. Dingo dogs are wild animals that will never become pets without proper education and training. The dog chooses only one person as the owner, and if the owner decides to abandon such a relationship, the dingo may die. Therefore, the acquisition of a dingo dog is a very crucial step that can destroy the animal. Before you get a dingo puppy, you should consider the dog is active, you need to walk with it for a long time, it does not tolerate long minutes of calm, it constantly needs movement. Dingo does not accept other pets. A cold attitude towards a person is the norm for a dingo, she can only become attached to one family member. Dingo will never become your companion. It will be better for the dog to live in a spacious courtyard of a country house where he can carry security. Dingoes are not whimsical in their care, they need to be bathed only twice a year, not more often. Dingo is a predatory animal. It is worth considering a balanced diet, which will include meat porridge and vegetables. Dingoes are very sturdy dogs that survive well in the wild. They have good immunity, but to live in the city, you need to be vaccinated, like all domestic dogs. Unfortunately, the dingo will never become your best and loyal friend. These dogs will not let you get bored and will always rush to freedom because the wild blood will always rule them.